Voices against corruption. Let the people speak.
Hello and welcome to Primark's public feedback series on corruption, called Voices Against Corruption. And we ask, how best do you think corruption in job recruitment process can be stopped?
Lack of professionalism in administration, that also caused the issue of people taking bribe and all that to give people job. Indeed, the economy is hard. If other sectors in the economy is working, I feel this can be reduced, both in our military, in our paramilitary, and also in the civil service.
We should avoid favoritism. If you want to favor somebody who is your own, whether he is qualified or he is not qualified, one, that is corruption. Secondly, by employing the right people or those with the qualification to the right place. You understand? By the time you employ somebody who is qualified for that particular job, the person will perform. But when you bring somebody who is not qualified or who doesn't have the qualification, there's no how the job will be done well.
It has to do with more enlightenment on the part of the job seekers. More enlightenment on the part of the job seekers, because if every job seeker is enlightened, because there are a lot of scammers around in offices, not only the ones working on the streets. There are a lot of scammers in offices. I've actually had a friend who was told to bring 2.5 million to get a uniform job, federal service stuff. I think it was immigration. And then after paying that, his brother paid it for him. And then the man started giving them a lot of stories. And at the end of the day, 2.5 million went down the drain. So it's real. So many people are falling victims to all these scammers.
I feel there needs to be a reorientation of the masses. People need to understand that you don't just go out there and get jobs. I mean, it's not just as easy as they think. Because when you go out there, you just see anything, you accept, then whatever comes with it, you face it. But when there's this orientation that this is what's at stake, before the job and everything, somebody can now decide on what to do. Then on the part of most of these scammers, if you really pay good attention, to some extent they have a pattern they do follow to scam people. So if you are able to, if you are intelligent enough to study them, study their how they do their things and everything, you're able to know.
First, panacea is ensuring that recruitment is strictly based on merit and not necessarily who the person knows.
Desperation can actually lead to falling a victim. When you are so desperate, you understand? If looking for a job for 5 years, you didn't see, so anything that sounds like a job, you jump into it. So last one would be maybe laziness. When some people just get active, try to make effort actually to go and verify. If you hear that maybe a certain organization is recruiting, there's no this thing. I mean, it won't cost you a thing to walk down straight to the office of that organization, that very organization. Ask them, are you guys recruiting that? I heard it on the radio, I saw it on the internet, I saw it on flyers and posters. Is that real? I mean, go to the office of the organization in question, straight ahead, and ask them, are they recruiting? Is that true? If yes, they will tell you. If no, that's all.
Absolutely, it has to do with sanitization. And it must not start with only the government, but rather the individuals, the citizens by themselves. It has become a well-known habit or attitude among Nigerians. Now, before you get a job, you have to buy your way, you have to bribe, or you have to even pay a huge amount of money. So now, and if you have to know somebody in the system, if you don't know that, there's no way you will get a job. So now, for instance, if people stop paying for a job, definitely government will need people that will work for them. So it's going to be on merit. So let's just say we should start with individuals ourselves, then before the government.
Corruption in the recruitment process in Nigeria is on the high level, and it is something that did not start from today, and it will be very difficult to stop. I think it's as a result of godfatherism. Do you understand? So if godfatherism syndrome can be stopped, I think that will go a long way in stopping corruption in the employment process.
if we need to bring about efficiency, let's stop looking at the government as one of the challenge. First of all, look at our individual selves. If you had believed in yourself that you are a good mechanic, you don't need to pay to get somebody give you a job. If you're a good doctor, you don't need to pay to get somebody to give you a job. If you're a good policeman, you don't need to pay to get somebody give you the job of a policeman. Otherwise, the consciousness of having to receive back what you have paid remains there. If I'm going into government and I went in with the idea that I had to put in a lot of money from people and then to get to their office, I have to be sustained by receiving back those monies from people. And so that's where bribery and corruptions, all of this come from.
We should try to ensure that corruption is taken away by making sure we put the right person in the right place. Not tribalism, not knowing until you know somebody before that job will be given unto you. No, tribalism should be taken away and put the right person in the right place. Then solution will come.
For someone who paid bribe to go to school, you can't even defend your qualification. You bribed your way through school. It shouldn't be surprising for you when you have to also pay money to get a job. So what I'm saying is, we need to solve the problem from the root. We need to go back to the foundation and solve the problem. We need to look at the fact that almost everybody is corrupt. So let's go back to the education system and make sure that people can get quality education and be able to defend their qualifications. That way, when someone tells you to pay bribe to get a job, you will feel it inside of you that it's wrong.
But I believe the way out is to create more jobs, and then let's go for the best instead of because it's my brother, because it's my friend. I think in doing that we'll be able to address the challenge.
Primark's public feedback on corruption in Nigeria is produced with support from MacArthur Foundation.